Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the singer-songwriter GENIE El STARZ. Hey, Jeannie, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great too. Thanks, Jeannie. Hey, thanks for hooking up with me, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of your music with our audience. So, Jeannie, if it's cool with you, can we go to your YouTube channel and share your track Motherland?
Yes, you can. I will be excited for you to share that.
Okay, excellent. All right, everybody, let's tune in now to GENIE El STARZ with Motherland.
When I was 4, got on a plane, journey began to the motherland, where money flows, I'm melanin to the highest heights. Why am I here? Don't understand. Where is my crown on my motherland? Oh, I get it.
Hey, Jeannie, that's great work, man. Beautiful music, and I really enjoy sharing it with everyone. And now I'm interested in learning about you. Can you tell me where you're from? And I'd love to hear some highlights of how you became a music artist.
Okay, so I am actually from London. I was born in London, but I was bred in Lagos, Nigeria. When I was 4 years old, I was taken to Nigeria to live with my grandmother and her husband. And while I was in Nigeria, I was always singing around the house like a little girl, even though I'm a guy, but I have this very powerful feminine energy. And I remember very, very well because this is one of the foundations of how I started music. Um, I was singing around the house in this high pitched voice, and I could hear my nan ask all the time, like, who is that? Who is that? And I just pretended like it wasn't me because at the time I didn't know what to think about it.
Uh-huh.
And she found out that it was me. And my grandmother was an Aquarius, just like me.
Okay.
And so she kind of knows everyone. So she took me to the church and she actually gate crashed the church. And she said, "This is my grandson. He was born in London, and I didn't know he had this talent." And she literally put me in front of them, and they asked me to sing a hymn, and I did, and that's how I started music. I would say 11 years old, yes, and I became the very first soprano lead singer of my church choir, and that's how we started.
That's
Yes,
wonderful, Jeannie, and an incredible kind of story. And I love how your grandma kind of discovered you and pushed you forward.
yes,
Look at this talent.
yes,
Listen to this voice. So that's really
yes.
powerful. And also, I'm sure it must have been empowering for you to use music as a way to express yourself. And so tell me, what was like kind of the next aspect of the journey? You got involved in church choir and then,
Yeah. So the next aspect of the journey was when I was 19, I was coming back home to England because I was in London. I was in Nigeria for 15 whole years.
ooh,
So when I was 19, finished secondary school, I came back to London. And within 6 months of me back in London, I was in college, studied music technology. And then a year after that, I went to university to study performing arts and music history. But I dropped out of the music history aspect because it was a bit boring. Yes, I just want to be on stage performing. I don't want to know about who was before me. No,
wasn't relevant
no.
for you. Yeah, I hear
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
So I did that, but for many years after I graduated from university, I kind of had like an identity crisis. I didn't sing for about 10 years.
Oh, no
I
kidding.
didn't do, yes. And I come from a very musical family. My dad, my mom, my grandfather, I have cousins, and my sister. We're all musicians or in the radio industry or stuff like that. So I feel like for me, I needed to know where I fitted in because I come from a very spiritual, not actually a very religious background, and I was demonized a lot for a lot of the things that they deemed evil or however they. So for me, I had to kind of soul search in order to find my own identity. So I would say in 2020, I literally started my own independent label. I got a distribution company and I just started writing and I just started building out music. And here I am.
That's so great, man, because you know what I mean? You're really following your own heart. You're really blazing your own trail. And I realize there may have been some challenges with regard to having such a talented family, everyone in the industry. You know, you want to find your own kind of place among that ranks, but also in the greater spirit of things. Even the religious aspects of kind of pressures to conform are all way, you know, are inhibitors, but you've broken out and just basically said, look, here I am, I'm doing my own, you got my own label and making my music. And that's got to be really liberating and make you feel powerful. It should, you know.
It is because for me, I have always been the one who, a lot of people think like I'm a rebel, but for me, if something comes naturally to me, I'm not a rebel. I'm just doing what comes naturally to me. But out of all my whole family, because I was one of the only ones born in this country with my mom, but the rest of my family are all African and Nigerian and stuff. And nobody ever speaks up, you know, when if you're sad, how dare you say you're sad? Or if you're hungry, I'm the one who's going to be like, you know, I feel this way. And then I'm being deemed as disrespectful or, you know, rude and all these, they just put all these labels on you to make you seem like you're really worse than you really are. But really, you're just really standing up for the truth. And you just really want to be yourself at the end of the day. So that's what my whole energy is about standing in your truth and standing in who you are, no matter what.
Yeah. And the freedom to express your theatrical persona. Without feeling constrained in any way or making that an assignment of humility that's required of you. I mean, ultimately, we want to blossom and become artistically however we feel compelled to express ourselves. So that's really great that you're doing that. And so, listen, when you were considering being an artist, were there other artists that you were really inspired by, Genie?
So growing up in Nigeria, half the day we have no electricity at all. I do come from an affluent family where we had generators and stuff, but my grandfather wouldn't turn on the generator till like 7 o'clock in the evening. But half the time I started listening to a lot of Mary J. Blige, a lot of R. Kelly, and So Solid Crew. There were loads of people and they would come on the radio. So I literally had this tape and I would literally record everything that came on the radio onto the tape so that I could listen. It was mainly Mary J. Blige. But the more I started to mature, Destiny's Child came out and Beyonce popped out for me. But for me, it's not the reasons why people think I would be attached to Beyonce or love Beyonce. I love how she expresses herself so effortlessly. Saying whatever she wants to say so beautifully, but she's talking about something really serious, but she does it so entertainingly, so sensually, like you don't really catch what she's saying till years later. And you're like, oh my God, this woman is actually more intelligent than you think she is. But I love how she, you know, a lot of people like to hate on Beyonce. I don't know why, but for me, how she arranges her music and how the music, how she sounds like an angel. There's a flair about her that's just so amazing. And when Destiny's Child came out, that was it for me. It was Beyonce. I would hear her in my head. I looked at her birth chart, so I know who she is. I know what she's about. And it dawned on me why we might have her, because we actually have very similar charts in astrology. We're very similar. Even though she's a Virgo, I have a lot of Scorpio energy, which she also has a lot of Scorpionic energy. So it explains why you could feel pain in her voice. A lot of people may not understand because of the whole production situation of Beyonce. But when you really listen to Beyonce, she comes from a place of pain from I don't know how to explain it. It's so yeah.
Listen, that is so, I mean, the way you're moved by her, I mean, she is an earth angel and amazing
Mhm.
artist and incredible, divine feminine, I mean, she's just everything, right? So I love also the way she delivers her language and her
Yes.
music, and it's just
Yes, it's really different from I feel like a lot of people just maybe because they have their songs written for them, but I feel like a lot of people want the whole production situation. I think she's really lucky because of her parents, so she was able to, get people to back her from a very young age. But people don't understand that it takes real hard work, from exercise to your diet to singing lessons. And I've seen documentaries of her where those are the things that she actually does. But I know a lot of artists right now who, will film their live sessions in the studio, which to me is crazy. Like, they always want to do things so people can say, oh, I am this type of musician, or this is what I am, and this is who I am. And they don't understand that, there's some back work that goes through with these things. It's not easy.
the dedication to the craft, and listen, and the sacrifices that she's made.
Mm-hmm.
And mega stardom requires a lot more than I think we realize in terms of those sacrifices. So it
Yeah.
is. I appreciate it. Now tell me about what you got coming up, Genie. What's happening up in
So
your future? Yeah.
So I literally just dropped my very first album. I recorded my album all in my bedroom. I have my little mic, I have my laptop, I have my phone. I recorded it in my bedroom. And basically, the first album is about the things that I went through when I was in Nigeria. I had a lot of positive situations happen, but I also had a lot of negative situations that happened. And when I started to write Blast from the Past, I had these feelings and emotions come up. But I'm no longer there anymore because I feel like, because as an Aquarius, I have a tattooed true Aquarius on my arm. As an Aquarius, we have to speak things out into existence, or speak illnesses out of our bodies, or, we use our throat chakra, we use our mind. So when I started to write the album Blast from the Past, I started to get healed, basically. So right now, by spring, I'm actually going to start writing my second album called Self-Discovery. And instead of me talking about emotional stuff, I'm going to be writing about wealth, prosperity, and abundance, life and, sex and, spirituality, all intertwined into one. So right now, I'm in a state of limbo where I'm lucky to have the time to kind of chill.
Yeah,
so I'm just waiting for spring. Yes, I'm waiting for the spring to come out. And once the spring is here, I am working on my second album called Self-Discovery. And yes, that's where I am right now.
I love it, Genie. All right, listen, we're going to follow your progress by tuning into your social media channels, and I'll place them below our interview. And also, we're looking forward to you rising on FENIX360. So I really appreciate getting to know you, your journey from Nigeria. Do you feel at home in London now? Do you feel at home in the UK?
I have always feel home in the UK. I'd never felt at home in Nigeria because I had a different accent, I'm a bit lighter skinned and stuff like that. So, but I feel perfectly at home in London, yes.
So glad. So you're really in your power. And Genie, listen, we're going to I want everyone to tune into the social media channels you see below and look for Genie on FENIX360. It's GENIE EL STARZ. And thank you. It's really nice to meet you, man.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you as well.
Likewise. All right. You take good care. Cheers, man.
Okay. Take care.
Mind my business. See by myself. Minding my business. Doing my own way. Ha. Then I was thinking, should I go back? Then I was thinking, can I go back? Picked up the phone, did down messages, but nothing back. I was ignored. the phone, lay down messages, nothing back. I'm going my way.